a new episode in our Dead Beginnings campaign. We have a new player, Eric, who will be joining us. He will be playing Tertius, a Dragonborn. One of our players is on travel, so we are doing an introductory mini session for Tertius. He's a new player.
So Jimmy, this is just a reminder to you.
We will get him up to
Our
speed.
tickets are for 10:30 a.m. showing at Desert Ridge.
Got it.
Friday.
It's in my phone.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. All right, Kevin, are you around?
Yeah, let me finish up some stuff in Star Wars.
Okay. Well, since you're listening in,
Wow.
I'll give you guys some background. So what has happened is Dalen is off trying to talk to a wizard or somebody to better understand why he has this tattoo suddenly appeared on his neck. So he has wandered off to go try to get some information. So that is why he is not with your group. You two, Bogner, Nadia, and even your bard, Evander, have been called back to the City Watch for a brief discussion. And while you're there at the City Watch, waiting to be brought back, you notice that there is a Dragonborn also waiting in the front room. When a military clerk comes back and ushers you all forward, he includes this Dragonborn with you into the City Watch Commander's office. And the City Watch Commander says, "I'm glad you guys came at my call. I know this is not usual, and I know I've asked you to go look at this zombie thing, but I have something that's a little more pressing, and I think it's right up something that you guys can handle rather quickly, since I don't have anybody to do it. We've been notified of another merchant caravan, a smaller one that's been hit just a half day away, actually, from the city borders on kind of a lesser known back trail. And they say they were hit by goblins. So if you guys could go and take care of these goblins, drive them off, or whatever, that would be appreciated. And we'll give you, they're goblins, so 50 gold a piece, if you can, show proof that they've been taken care of. I know you guys are short a man, because my guys that have been kind of following everybody in town, they know that your main fighter is indisposed. So I've asked this other adventurer, Tertius here. He looks like he can handle himself to assist you. I hope you don't mind me presuming to add to your group.
So Nadia cocks her head and says, "So you're keeping tabs on us, huh?"
I'm commander of the City Watch. I keep tabs on everybody.
I look at Bogner, kind of roll my eyes, and shrug.
Does that mean we don't have to pay our bar tab?
No. But I'm thinking 50 gold would probably go a pretty good ways to taking care of that for you.
So we're talking 50 gold times 4, right? Evander's in here, right?
Yeah, Evander's with you, so 50 gold.
Well, he's not showing in our little party thing, so.
He's not, but he's in the combat tracker and he's in the party sheet.
Gotcha. I look over at Bogner, I look over at Evander and kind of shrug my shoulders and say, we don't got anything else to do. What do you guys think? I'm pretty much ignoring Tertius at this point in time.
So while you guys are discussing, he calls over to a page who runs out, and Page runs back in with two guys. One that looks like an old ranger, like a scout. He looks like he definitely knows how to move around, but he's old. He's not in fighting shape. And then of course a younger man who he's definitely green. He's younger than you guys. He's probably like 13, 14. Also probably not really what you consider in fighting shape unless there's an emergency. And the City Watch captain says, this is Evis and his trainee. I can't remember her name. And they were the ones that went out. So Evis, if you could tell these guys what you know, maybe that'll help them decide. So Evis and his older...
So are these... These were the, like, caravan guards or something?
No, these are they're not of
I want to understand what they're...
But they are scouts for the royal family, the local
Okay.
entity.
So they had nothing to do with the actual, like, caravan, but they may have encountered, like, after the fact or whatever. Gotcha.
Yep. So Evis turns to you and he says, all right, well, we were traveling the old trade road up near the Blind Hills, and that's where we found it, an overturned wagon in the ditch. I took to the shadows and scouted a bit, and, well, the wagon had been flipped over and worked over. Looks to be kind of fortified, like signs of goblins about, broken shields stuck on the walls. Looked like they made some arrow slits by breaking some boards and then cutting some stuff into the, openings into the driver's bench. There's a little flag hanging on top of the whole thing. I don't know what it's made of. I didn't get close enough. We left it alone and came back. But tell you what, that place smelled something awful, even at the distance we was at. So I didn't want to get no closer anyway. But yep, it's just down the trail, a little more than half a day.
You see any bodies?
No bodies. Looked like whoever had the wagon was driven off, and the wagon looked like it was just turned over there, just over next to the road, like it had been pulled off and flipped over. And that's about all I could tell you. Most likely they just scared whoever's wagon it was away. Captain says, thank you, Evis. That'll be all. Evis knuckles his brow and takes his wee babe of a apprentice out, and they walk out.
I'll look at Bogner and Evander, and then I'll kind of glance over at Tertius and kind of say, I'll indicate, kind of strange. Nobody around. They didn't just run away from it. Goblins don't really let you don't run away. You either are dead or you got back to your city watch.
Evander says, if you're a farmer, farmers ain't gonna fight. And is it just me or fuck was that guy old?
Nadia smirks and kind of giggles behind the hand. Doesn't say anything else.
I don't think anyone's older than me anyway.
What do you mean nobody's older than you? I'm 100. You don't live to 100.
You're 100? I'm only 69.
I know. Oh, good year though. Good year.
So
That was the year I was
Bogner,
born.
so you know Bogner's a dwarf, Nadia's an elf, and the bard is a human.
I did not know that.
I'm a wood elf to be exact. I'm a young wood elf. I just in my 20s from a human perspective.
So wood elves
Which is
live
a-
longer than dragonborn do.
Well, Dragonborn only don't even live to 100, do they?
No, only to 80, you said, right?
Yeah, on average.
Yeah, I live to about 750 or so. So I'm a babe in the woods. You're more mature from the overall scheme of things, but I've been around longer.
Okay, gotcha.
I have no idea how old Bogner is.
So Captain says, I got 4 horses, ready to take you.
I look at Bogner and Evander, and I'm like, kind of, do a head shake over towards Tertius, and like, what do you think?
I'm broke anyway.
Well, I'm not asking Tertius. I was more asking Bogner and Evander, but
Yeah, they're goblins. How bad can it be? Let's go. I can always use 50 gold.
all right. So we know Evander's on board. Bogner.
So Thaddeus looks
I
pretty old.
didn't understand it.
I said Thaddeus looks pretty old. Does he look like he's able to handle himself just from appearances, or what are we looking at here?
Tertius, describe yourself.
I may look old, but I've got some tricks up my sleeve.
Well, what do you mean by look old? So, like, most people haven't seen Dragonborn. They're not a common occurrence. You're gonna find that they're not somebody that you find around a lot. So, you obviously are.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, I am humanoid in shape, so I can stand up, but I have the face of a dragon and scales, gold scales in this case, because I'm 100% gold.
are you an imposing figure, or are you kind of? I mean, you scrawny. So, if you're looking at the dwarf, he's looking for somebody that's going to stand beside him and fight.
Well, I'm tall and fairly muscular, even for being 69. I would say Dragonborn look more majestic than they do intimidating or daunting.
Okay, that help you out there, Kev?
Yeah. All right, as long as you're providing mounts, sure.
So, Nadia nods to the captain of the guard, and walks over to Tertius and extends a hand. In friendship and camaraderie. So Nadia's not the de facto leader of the group, but she just wants to get things done.
Okay.
So are we good to go, Tertius, or are you gonna wave away the hand of friendship?
Oh, no, I definitely shake the hand. Sorry, I missed that part.
All right.
No worries. We're all geeks here.
Yeah, Yep, all good.
All right, so Jimmy, looks like we've got a group ready to go. Bogner's got his ale pouch or three on the horse, ready to go with him.
All right. So you guys mount up and you ride out, and a little bit of ways. You almost miss this kind of, it's like two, not full on ruts, but they're like faint ruts. But they are wagon ruts. That
Do we have a map?
No, not yet. But as you move out, you you eventually do find about a half day's ride where this wagon is. And I will share a map with you now. So you should see a little map.
Yep, it's not just a wagon, it's a turned over wagon.
It's a turned over wagon. So it should be kind of a fairly big size map. So the first thing you're going to want to do is probably right click on the map and choose the radio dial resize. It's going to be on the right side. And then choose minimize or small. And then that'll get...
Well, minimize will close it entirely.
Right, not minimize. You want resize, and then you want small size. And that'll bring it something down within your table that you can then...
I don't get small size when I do resize. I get
Mine says original
size, adjust vertical, and adjust horizontal. But I mean, the only thing that we see right now is a
upside down wagon.
A cart that's turned over with one axle left on it.
Yep.
And one wheel. Yeah, that's the only thing we see anyway.
Yep, that's all you see. And then,
okay.
So in the chat window, I've said, a large wooden wagon has been overturned a few feet from the road. An incomplete moat rings the structure, and the vapors from its gelatinous contents reach your nose even at 50 paces. The wagon has been reinforced with broken shields and scavenged planks. An unfortunate fox has been nailed unceremoniously atop a crude doorway. Slits and holes of various sizes have been bored and carved into the walls, and you hear whispering and rustling coming from within. A flag made from cloth scraps hangs unmoving in the still air.
All right. Well, I mean, Nadia, being our little stealthy kind of critter, she'll approach away from any openings or anything. She doesn't want to be like skewered.
Okay, give me a stealth roll.
Accidentally, and stealth roll.
Stealth roll.
So Jim, what are the controls on this to make this map smaller?
So if you can find the bottom right corner.
No, I can make it smaller.
Okay, so to resize the frame, on the bottom right of the frame, there's, a little, I'll say grabbing tab that you can left click and hold.
No, I can't even get down to that point.
Okay, so right click anywhere in the map, and you're going to want resize. And you're going to want adjust, if you don't have small size available to you, adjust
original, vertical, and horizontal.
So try horizontal. Well, vertical or horizontal. Try one of those, and it should make it smaller for you.
Well, you can do the same thing by just grabbing the...
Well, if he can't get to it, if it's off his table, then he can't grab it and drag it and resize it.
Gotcha.
I mean, it did something, but I still don't have that little icon down in the corner, the bottom right.
Okay. Did you do vertical or horizontal?
Vertical, I think.
Okay. Try horizontal.
I tried horizontal. I made it like barely smaller.
Yeah, it's looking to it.
I'm trying to sync the view to see if it'll sync it to what I have.
You can also double finger scroll in and out too, make it smaller or bigger. I'm zoomed out as far as I can go anyway.
I actually closed the map on accident. How to get back to it?
Double click on your token in your character, upper right.
Ooh, that gave me a giant picture of it.
Right. So this is a stock adventure that I picked up, but it's perfect for like just a little quick one-off, except for getting the map to fit under.
Alright, so one thing I was able to do here was do a minimize, and then after it's minimized, when I right click, it gave me an option to do small.
Okay, perfect.
Okie dokie. So anyway, I've approached.
All right, there's your stealth roll. Okay. You
Come
are
up,
approaching.
Come up. I'm trying to get up close and avoid the anybody trying to stick me, either by a crossbow, a bow, or any other large pointy object coming out of the impregnable fortress.
I'll say
if I can.
How close do you want to get?
I want to get up close enough where I can actually, say, hey, anybody in there? We're from the town.
Oh, okay. You do.
So I'm coming up close, seeing what they can tell me.
Okay, so go ahead and move your token on the map to where you want to be. And that little moat is probably more feces than urine and a bunch of stuff. Okay, excellent. So you get there.
So they dug
a half moat on that side, yeah. And I've just got you guys in the upper left corner just for convenience. If you guys want to come in from this way, then that's fine. If that makes more sense.
Well, we only have one clanky guy, so it's okay.
That's true. All right, so you get that close, and
yeah,
I call out to the people inside.
Some place where we don't have they don't have a shot at us.
I'll say this way a bit, probably 50 feet or 40 feet this way, down away from the wagon is where you guys are. So you're a little bit further than what you indicate, what you're indicated on the map, but you don't see any arrows from this side.
They can hear me though, and as I get closer and whatnot to talk to these folks.
Yep. So as soon as you call out to them, I need everybody to roll initiative. So, Eric, what that means for you on your main character sheet, you're going to see in the middle INIT, init, and it should say like plus something. You're going to left click and drag that into the chat window. It should be like.
So the INIT right in the middle?
Yeah, so it should be like +1, 2, or 3, something like that. So left click, hold, and.
Says 0.
Okay, so left click and drag that to the chat window.
Another thing you can do is drag that to one of your quick bars. So every time he has an initiative check until you change level, because when you change level you need to redo it, but you can just click on that quick bar.
Nice.
Okay, so Evan.
And if you drag it to the quick bar, it actually says init on it.
Right. Now, Eric, so you can follow along. This is where we want to bring up our combat tracker. So in the upper right of the entire table, you're going to see crossed swords. Left click on that. That'll bring up the combat tracker. And that shows you the order that everybody's taking.
Cool.
So Nadia, strangely enough,
What is the order that we're taking?
so that's based on your initiative
Well,
we just rolled. So if you have
my action was actually getting close.
right. So do you have the combat tracker up?
I do. I'm good.
Okay. So you can see right now that it's Evander's turn and he has the flag. He's going to hold his action because he's just waiting to see what occurs from Nadia calling out. All right. The impregnable fortress. Sits there and says, you hear some, does anybody speak Goblin?
I do not.
Helpful.
Okay.
Nope.
So you just hear Goblin. And suddenly hot oil bursts out from some little tiny holes that you didn't really see from like all around the wagon. Nadia, give me a dexterity roll, saving throw. Okay. You take 1 point of fire damage.
All right, I figure you're checking that, right? You're
Yep.
tracking that. I don't need to do anything.
Nope, I took care of that. And they didn't add, I can't believe they didn't add a saving throw to this, so I will just take care of that myself. Okay.
What do you mean they didn't add a saving throw?
On the sheet, they would normally have a saving throw effect that I could click, target you and click, and it would auto-roll it, but they don't. So shame on them. They didn't do a very good job when they built this module. All right, the fortress is done with its turn. Because you guys are at an angle where it can't really shoot any arrows at you. Tertius, you're up. What would you like to do? So
I'm going to ask you a question. I'm not going to change what I've done, but I want to ask you a question, Jimmy.
Okay.
So, I have Step of the Wind as a, but I know I'm not. It's not at my point yet. So do I get? I don't have any actions I can take, right? I can't do a bonus action or anything right now because it's not at my point. Is that correct?
That's correct. I could let you do an action, but you know you weren't coming in aggressively. So I'm just saying you knocked and said, "Hey, we're here from the city," and they said, "All right."
Well, I wasn't really going to knock. I was approaching and saying, "Hey, I'm calling out to those inside." I don't know that I was actually up against the wall, but I'm good with that. That's fine. That's no worries. I'm just really more trying to figure out the dynamics of how this new rule set works.
Sure. Just to get things going, I'm going to say that you weren't really in battle mind yet, so you weren't thinking of doing extra stuff. So you called out as you approached.
Okay, gotcha.
They responded. All right, Tertius.
Gotcha.
So to move about on the map, you will want to left click on your token on the map and drag it to where you want it to go.
Okay, I'm gonna move up and see if I can try to find a way into this thing. Probably protect my face from whatever's coming out the holes.
So there's it looks like there's a makeshift door on the side next to Nadia there. So that looks like a makeshift door.
I'm gonna move towards that.
Okay, you can move 30 feet.
So Jimmy, that was oil that was coming out, right?
Yes.
And so, can I assume it's now coating the outside of this?
No, they were more like blobs versus a dump. So they were actually sprayed away from the wagon.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Tertius, you moved up. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna try to open the door. If it's even a door.
The door's locked, and you don't really see any handles from the outside here.
I'm
You
gonna
can
try to
try to
hit the lock
you
with
can-
my hammer.
So
Can I
it's
do
not
that?
locked from the outside, but you can try to force the door if you want.
All right, I'll try to force the door.
Okay, give me a strength check. So on your main tab, on your strength ability, you're going to want to left click and drag into the chat window. And you might, to be safe, you want to grab that die. But I think if you grab either one, it'll do it. Oh, nice.
Ooh, good roll.
All right, so you try to force the door. Basically, you grab the handle, and then you step back and you lower your shoulder or slam your foot into it. And sure enough, boom, the door, which was fairly reinforced, actually gives way, breaks, and splinters, and you can pull it open. And as you break it, you hear a bunch of and a bunch of scuttling. Okay, so Eric, we'll give you a description. There's 4 distinct activities that occur for an individual in a combat. One is movement, one is an action, one is a bonus action, and then the 4th is a reaction. So you've moved, you've had your action of kicking in the door, and now there may be some activities that would allow you to do a bonus action if you wanted. Casting a healing word spell would be a bonus action. Some other spells could be a bonus action, and that is described in the description. It would say action or bonus action. I don't believe any of your abilities are bonus actions. Yeah, your breath weapon's an
It says in
action.
the description.
So I don't think there's anything you can do as a bonus action. I think you're pretty good and done.
Okay. And then what's
So
a
is he like-
reaction? Like a reaction
he
to something
like-
that happened?
So a reaction could be some special abilities that provide you a reaction. In most cases, it's what's considered an opportunity attack. So if somebody was within 5 feet of melee of you and they decided to leave your melee range, you would get a one-shot opportunity attack against them. And you only get that
Gotcha.
reaction every round. So if you use it, then you can't do any other reactions until it's your turn next round.
Gotcha.
So Jimmy, just a quick question: is he stuck in the middle of the door? I mean, like, so is he right in the doorway? Is there room around him? Can we see anything around him, or is he a little bit off to the side? How is he positioned?
So he's broken the door, but he hasn't cleared it. I'll say somebody else is going to have to expend another action to clear the remnants of this door, and then there's enough room for somebody else to get through if they wanted to.
So we can see in there a fraction, but not the whole of the interior.
You can't really see fully inside what's going on. Bogner, you're up. This Dragonborn just
So
kicked
what's
down the door.
So what's the the ground around the wagon like? Dirt, grass, what?
It's kind of like scrub grass and dirt, except for the you know, moat that's, filled with latrine-like substances. You know, midden, more midden than moat. Poop.
So if I move, can I hold my action after that or not?
Sure, you can move and hold your action. What would your action be that you hold? Like if something came out at you, or
Well, yeah, I'm just not sure if I want to attack quite yet.
okay. So go ahead and show me where you're moving to. Okay.
Dude, do
Then I'll
not
hold
try to
there.
kiss me.
All right. So you're gonna hold your action for if something comes out.
Yeah.
All right, Nadia, you're up. Give me a perception roll, Nadia. Are you going on top?
Well, I'm gonna actually be like holding my body out as a flagpole kind of thing. So I'm at the top of the, I'm kind of like out perpendicular to the ground or parallel to the ground,
Okay. Yeah.
right at the top of the
Handy-
door frame,
your
if that
handy
makes
boots.
sense.
So, Tertius, this
You
elf
wanted a
just
perception check,
literally-
right?
Yeah, I do. This elf literally runs up the side of this wagon and across the header beam of the doorway and is literally standing horizontal to the ground. There's obviously something magical about this.
Ooh, that's a terrible perception.
Yeah,
It
you're
is
so
magical.
so involved in kind of showing off for your new party person here that he didn't really hear anything. I don't know if you were trying to show off, but that's what it looks like.
No, I actually wasn't trying to show off. I was positioning myself for my what I was going to hold my action, and if somebody comes out, they can't see me. I'm attacking from above. Is really what I was looking at.
Okay, you're doing that. All right, it's Evander's turn. He will do what he always does. He just kind of moves up, but stays a little bit back. He's not going to inspire anybody. The fortress. Well, let me see. Let me see here.
What's interesting with the spider climbing boots, you got to have a lot of core strength because you can climb up, but how are you going to keep your body at that parallel position of the ground?
Yeah, you really do, right? Or you got to do the Spider-Man angled squat, right? Nothing happens from the fortress. Tertius, give me a perception check. So you're going to go to your skills tab, and you're going to find perception, and then you're going to give me a roll all the way on the right side. You're going to drag that to the chat window.
And the same thing
Wait,
there,
how do I-
Eric, if you go ahead and if you look at the skills tab, you look at perception,
Perfect.
you've got the plus whatever, you can drag that to a quick bar, and now your perception you can just use from a quick bar. It'll tell you that it's a perception check.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I would, figure out what
You
skills
do need-
you use a lot and do that.
Well, perception's one that you'll use a lot, so that's why I'm telling you to do that. And every time you level, though, you may need to change that because your perception may have changed. So increased your bonus, or what your level actually just made it easier. So you'll at a level you'll have to re-put your perception down on that quick bar.
Gotcha.
Yep. The quick bar is
Cool.
more of a snapshot of whatever you drag to it versus an active link. So Jerry's right. If something changes in your character sheet, it will not update to your quick bar. All right. All you hear is that there's been a retreat away from this door, and then quiet. But you don't know any more than that. Okay. What do you want to do? Finish up the door?
Can I use? Is the door not all the way open, or is it like?
You've basically kicked it to the point where all you have to do is lift it out of the way.
Does that count as my like action?
Yes, but not your movement. So if you need to move out of the way or move in, you could still do that.
Can I like? Is there like holes that I can see through, or is the door like blocking the entire doorway still?
No, there's a big ass hole where your foot went through and kicked through the reinforcing bar that was holding the whole thing closed. So you can definitely look in. It's dark inside, but you can
I
see 10 feet or so.
use a spell to try to light up the wagon, like produce flame?
Sure. I'll let you throw a cantrip in there.
Shoot a cantrip in there.
I'm
Burn
gonna-
those
I'm gonna-
fuckers out.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay. So you look in and you really can't see anybody. So you're really just kind of throwing the produce flame in there, right? Just to light up the inside. So you do that.
Yeah, just light up and try to see what's.
And I'll just do a roll. Okay. What you see is it's pretty much flat in there. I mean, there's like a couple spears on the ground, but there's a hole in kind of the back middle, just on the opposite side of the middle wagon from where you guys are now. And that hole goes into the ground, and there's a ladder sticking out of the hole. And you can see just the head of a goblin disappearing down the hole. Otherwise the wagon is now empty.
Okay, and that's the only action I can perform here, right?
Yep. You can sidestep if you want to
Alright.
let somebody get access to the door.
Yeah, you can get out of the way, or you can stay right
I'll get
where
out of the
you're
way
at.
a little bit.
Okay.
So move your marker a little bit just to show that, yeah, there you go.
Perfect. All right. Wagner, you're up. And do you
Alright,
tell
I'll
anybody what you
distribute
see?
saw in there.
Eric?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna signal to the rest of the group that the wagon's empty.
Okay. So Wagner, you've been told the wagon's empty. Which it can't quite be empty because it just did something.
I thought the last goblin disappeared down the hole.
Okay, so you're gonna. I'm a little bit of a stickler sometimes, so yeah. Okay, so you tell them that you saw a goblin actually disappear down a hole, hence the wagon is now empty. Now your team knows what's going on.
Alright, I'll go ahead and move inside the wagon then, verifying that it really is empty since I can see in the dark.
Okay. As you move inside, we won't do that just yet. Sure. Give me a perception check, Wagner. Okay. You don't really see.
You perceive nothing.
Well, there's a couple, like I said, some spears that are really of very poor quality. Really, they might break if you try to stab somebody with them. There's rocks, and there's a hole with a ladder. So I'll show you the ladder, just the top of it.
You're showing the group.
All right,
that
I'm gonna grab the nearest spear and kind of try and throw it down the hole.
Okay. So I'll put you about there, and you pick up a spear and you chuck it down the hole, and you've got dark vision, right? Yeah.
60, yeah.
Yeah. So you can see down the hole, and you can see the spear goes all the way down, and it's only about, I don't know, maybe 10 feet underground, and the spear punches into the dirt, but no goblins at the bottom of the ladder.
And I don't see anything else like alive that's still inside the structure that's above ground, right?
That is correct.
Alright, I tell them that it's clear up to the edge of the hole here so they can come in if they want.
Okay. Nadia, been given the all clear.
All right. So I've given the all clear, and now is the time where I am going to show off. So I just like kind of continue around on the ceiling to where I'm directly over the top of the hole. Now
so
I'm upside down looking down the hole.
You're pulling a David Bowie in Labyrinth, right? You just kind of walk in underneath.
Exactly.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I just kind of walk over there just to get a view of what Tertius is going to say. So I'm standing directly over the hole, just looking straight down. I've got dark vision as well. I don't see jack shit
Yep.
other than
Give
the
me a
spear
perception check.
embedded into the earth.
Yep. You don't see anything unusual. I mean, you can see a couple partially filled sacks that are attached to different little ports, little holes on the outside of the wall. That must be how they squirted, this fiery substance at you. That's it.
Napalm. I'm holding I'm holding any action. Yeah, so I'm done for this round.
Okay. Evander moves up, but Wagner's standing over the hole. Evander's happy with that.
Better you than me, my friend.
You guys can see down the shaft to the bottom. And again, it's like 10 feet down. Tertius.
Well, I'm gonna move up and try to climb down the ladder. Can I use the produce flame and light the way while I'm climbing down the ladder?
So produce flame is kind of, let me see something here.
That's a cantrip, isn't it?
It does. It's a flickering flame that appears in your hand, and it remains there. Okay, so you're just doing a flame in your hand as like a torch?
Yeah, I just want to light a flame in my hand as a torch as I.
Doesn't
climb
he
down the
have
ladder.
dark vision?
He does not. Dragonborn do not.
Oh, I didn't know that. I would have figured they did.
Yep. Nope. Okay, so you produce your flame in your hand, and yeah, you can see that there's
I avert my eyes.
nothing really in here. Give me a perception check.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so as you walk along, because you're actually on the ground. You see a oily sack that you're not sure if it was hidden or if it's just being held closed or held down by a rock.
Okay, and I'm down. I'm all the way down below now.
Oh, you
Right,
want
like
to?
I'm on the ground.
Yes, you're on the ground inside the wagon. But oh, did you want to walk down the step down the ladder?
Yeah, I wanted to
He
climb
was,
down.
yeah,
Yeah, I want to climb
he was
down
going to
the
the
ladder.
left.
Okay, so you're down.
So he saw the sack in the wagon or below?
In the wagon, not below.
So
Okay,
do
is
you
that
really want to be down because you've found that oily sack, or are you avoiding it, or are you going down?
Yeah, I'm gonna avoid the sack and go down. I'm gonna yell up to Bognar and Nadia and let you guys know there's an oily sack.
Okay, so you point it out as you, there's a sack there, as you just clunk, 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 clunk. Okay,
I also call up and let Bognar and Nadia know that I haven't seen anything down below yet.
yep, you do not see anything down below.
It's a good thing Clanky's not here. Bogner's turn.
Yep.
Well, does Tertius see anything in the little
Nope.
hole that he was in? No? Alright.
I mean, all you see is the tunnel, precariously carved and shored up with planking, runs straight for about 30 feet before turning sharply. And there's some extra stuff you'll get to eventually, but right now you just see that it's going to turn away.
So is he still like on the ladder at the bottom, off to the side?
He's right at the bottom of the ladder. He will have to move out of the way before you can start climbing down, but you can't get all the way down. And he didn't have enough movement to go any further.
Alright, I'll go instead look at and see if I can find the sack that I was talking about.
Okay, you do. You see it now that it was pointed out to you. In fact, you're like, how did I miss that? You open it up and you see some coins and some shiny rocks.
Alright, we'll put that away for now.
I just added it to the party sheet so you can figure it out later.
Okay.
Where's the party sheet? Is that the eye and the... Oh, there it is. Never mind. I found it.
It's the eye with the 3 figures standing shoulder to shoulder.
Gotcha. Shiny rocks.
Yep, 25 silver and some shiny rocks.
Alright, so... Kev, are you doing anything yet, or no?
No, there's a lot of spot.
I didn't understand a word of that, but okay.
No.
I understood no. That works.
Okay, so
Alright, so we got Tertius at the bottom. I'm hanging upside down over this hole.
yeah,
How far would it be for me to drop down?
it's about 8 feet. I mean, give me an acrobatics check if you want to drop down, or you could just walk down the side for 8 feet.
Well, what I was, that's why I was asking. So, and if I go down and, like, if I came down to the hole and then walked across the ceiling, do I still need to bypass Tertius, or can I get by him by walking across the ceiling to the tunnel?
Yeah, it's not that big of a tunnel. It's really more of a goblin-sized tunnel. So you could walk side by side, but you can't really walk top and bottom. It's not that tall.
So I'm going to stand on his melon.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's not quite enough room for you to get down there like that. It's really more of almost a single file kind of thing.
So I'm going to go down. I mean, I have the movement. I'm going to get down to where he's at. And since there's no way for me to move beyond him, that's at least what I'm understanding, correct? There's no way for me to move beyond him.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to get as close to moving beyond him as possible and indicate to him that I want to get in front of him.
Okay.
And that's the end of my little turn.
Okay, Evander is just going to move up to the next to Bogner outside the hole. Tertius?
Alrighty, I am going to move out of the way just so that Nadia can get by me and whoever else wants to come down the ladder. I'm also going to move up to where I could see previously and try to cast Produce Flame down the hall and see if I could see any further. You said right now I can see what at the end, a turn?
So, so the Produce Flame just on your hand gives you a 10-foot radius and 10 feet dim light. So it gives you 20 feet of space around you where you can see. And then if you would throw it down, you can throw it 30 feet out in front of you, and it would just kind of flicker. You know, it'd give you that flickering light as it would travel for that 30 feet, and then it would dissipate.
Okay, yeah, I'll just light it in my hand and I'm gonna move down the tunnel here.
How long does that last? What's the cantrip duration on that, Jimmy?
10 minutes.
So he shouldn't have to recast it. It should just be, he's got it, it's in his hand, and it surrounds him, right?
Right. If he hurls it, then
Oh,
he'd have to recast it.
So I don't need to recast it or use an action then?
Nope.
Well, it depends on what you're doing. If you're holding it in your hand,
yep, nothing.
then you don't have to do anything. If you're like casting it out in front of you to see what's in front of you, then you would need to recast it every time you're moving ahead and trying to find out more distance.
Right. So you would basically hurl the flame off your hand away from you. And so to
Gotcha. I'm just going to keep holding it in my hand then.
Yeah. So right now it's just a torch. And you know, not a great one, but it's a good one.
Can I see anything else now that I have moved up? What can I see in front of me?
Yeah, you can see that it's starting to turn.
And you're kind of out of the way, right?
Yeah.
But I'm still at this point. I'm still blocking Bogner, so because Bogner's in front of me.
Right. So Bogner will probably hold
can't
his
get
action
past
until you move.
That I wanted to make sure that my thought was right there.
Okay, Bogner. I assume you're going to do that. You're going to wait till
Yeah.
Nadia moves. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just hold.
All right, Nadia, your turn then. You can move your movement.
And I'm gonna go ahead and continue. Just like at this point, I'm kind of showing off, but I'm gonna go ahead and move up ahead to here and see what I can see down the tunnel.
Okay, I need you to give me an acrobatics check as you're walking on the ceiling.
So elves can walk on ceiling?
He's got
Nope.
He's got something special. Okay.
I'm special.
So as you walk, you know, about 10, 15 feet along, the roof line crumbled literally on one of your feet, but you were able to keep purchase with your other foot, so you didn't fall. And from then on, you know, kind of little more careful, but you were able to place your feet where you want them to go.
As I pass Tertius, I give him a little smirk, kind of like, "Hey, check me out."
I'm gonna pretend like I didn't see the smirk.
So like so Jimmy, I moved up to this corner. Do I have any action left? Am I still able to move? Because I haven't moved my full distance yet.
No, you can. Yeah, you've got, I think, what, 15 or 20 more feet of movement?
I have 45
15
feet
of movement.
more. Well, 45 feet total. So I did 30, so I have 15 more, right? So I'm going to go ahead and shoot up to this 10-point spot. Again, I'm on the ceiling, trying to be stealthy.
Give me a stealth check and a perception check.
Stealth. Perception. My perception sucked, but my stealth was awesome.
Okay. So you're at a point, let's see, you got what? What's your dark vision here? 60.
Just That's not under abilities, is it?
Main tab.
Which
Why does
tab?
it say
Main tab. Like next to the strength.
60 dark vision.
All right, so you actually see
Bed rolls.
you see 3 goblins. They were trying to hide, but you know, like one's like standing still next to the wall, another's like hiding behind a scrap of cloth. You know, they're not the brightest of things. And they don't.
Can I see all the stuff in here that I can see? So like, do I see the bed rolls and the throne and all that stuff, or no?
Yeah, so you see a single torch that's illuminating this small chamber. You can see the makeshift throne at the far end. You can see mounds of dirt and bedding, and you can hear bowstrings like being like half pulled, half relaxed. You can see them, but evidently they don't seem to see you.
All right, so I still have 5 more feet of movement.
Yep.
I'm gonna move back 5 feet, and kind of like indicate to everybody, hold on, don't go anywhere. I'm not gonna make any noise as much as I can. Just say, just hold here.
Okay, Bogner, go ahead and do your movement action, because this is your held action. Okay. I'll give you 10 more feet. Okay. And I'll say that you also heard Nadia come back around the corner and tell you.
I didn't say anything. I must have been loud.
Oh, you just motioned?
only your movement stealthy?
Yeah, I was not, well, because I figured if I said anything, the goblins may hear me. So yes, I just motioned. Don't do anything.
Can I move, perform an action, and then move with my leftover movement?
Yes.
Yeah, movement and action are separate. So you can move and then do an act. I mean, you can do an action and then move away. Or you can move into something and then do an action. I think, Jimmy, you can correct me if I'm wrong. You can even move like a half of your total distance, do an action and move back the other half of the distance. But I mean, once you've moved your distance, you can't. You're done. And if you move into like a melee range and you try to move away from it, you may get an action of opportunity from your whatever's facing you.
Cool.
I'm catching on to these new rules, Jimmy. It may take me a little while, but I'm catching on.
So I think, Joe, you need to advance your turn if you're done.
Kev, sorry, I didn't understand a word of that.
I said I think you need to end your turn.
Oh, I thought that Jim kind of actually did something with your turn. Just a second.
Well, I held
Oh,
mine.
so you
and
guys are
just
actually
moved.
clicking the end turn button then.
Right, but so I came back and I made a motion, and then Jim said you're gonna. He gave you the option, and you moved down, and then he moved you an extra 10 feet. I don't ever think I did anything with my turn. How do I end my turn?
There's a little down arrow at the bottom of the tracker.
A banner at the bottom of my tracker.
It's like a little arrow.
Down arrow.
There you go.
Oh, it was hidden by a die. So none of those goblins should know anything right now, so they should just all be finishing their turn as well.
They should just be chilling for the most part, yeah.
Okay. So it should be Evander's turn. But you gave Bog, so here, Jim, this is, again, me just trying to figure out the rules. So I finished my thing, I came back around as far as I could.
I had 25 feet. I moved 15 feet down the ladder and another 10 feet down the hallway.
Okay. So, but that was Bogner's turn, but he had already.
That was
so
his
like,
held action. To
okay,
come
so
back.
I.
So you
His
have
held,
done
okay.
your movement, and you've come back and you've notified everybody else.
Okay. And Evander still's hanging out up.
Yep, he's still hanging out. All right, so you see the goblins just kind of shifting around. Let's see. And
Isn't Evander going to come down with us, or is he just going to hang out up top?
he's just going to hang out. Actually, at this point, one goblin actually pulls his short bow back, and he seems to see you.
All right.
He rolled really high in his perception. I was kind of surprised.
Which goblin?
The one in the middle that you can see. So he takes a shot, and an arrow flies by you and strikes into the far wall. You hear a all right. Evander, he's going to come down.
I roll my eyes and start looking back at my compatriots, who I can only see two of.
All right. Tertius, you've still got your You still got your flaming hand going. And
Yeah, I'm
you just saw an
gonna
arrow shoot
move.
by him.
Dude, you're a
I'm gonna-
flamer.
I am. I'm gonna move up to where Nadia's at, and I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on him. Can I do that to heal
Why
him?
do you? No, don't cast Cure Wounds on me. I haven't taken any.
He's only
I'm
taking
I'll
a
take
good.
1 damage.
He's only taking 1 point of damage.
Is that not
so
worth
he's-
healing?
No, not really. Because your Cure Wounds will heal 1d8 plus 3. So it'd heal 4 points at a minimum. Yeah,
Okay.
so I'd wait.
Yeah, don't heal me. So, I mean, if you want to move up again, so this is all us getting to learn the like dynamics of the stuff and whatnot. So, from your perspective, I haven't really been hurting. None of us are hurting from a Cure Wounds perspective or whatnot. You may want to move up a little bit, and we may want to like try to coordinate our attack on this group. But I wouldn't worry about me at this point. I'm out of the visual range of one of them. One attacked me already and missed terribly. And then we got another one that we know that can maybe see me but hasn't drawn his bow yet. So I can get out of their range at this point. It'd probably be a good idea for us to regroup.
So, yeah. So what you could do is you could move up so you're within touch range of Nadia. And you could say, hey, I want to be ready to heal Cure Wounds on Nadia if she gets hit with a bunch of arrows or something. Right?
Absolutely.
So if you really want to support like that, you could say that.
Okay, well, I will just since they how far can they see with their dark vision?
You don't know.
At least 45 feet.
Okay, I'm gonna move up then next to Nadia so we can discuss our plan of attack here.
Okay.
I'm keeping my shield up in case arrows start flying this direction, and I'm gonna get ready to cast Cure Wounds.
All right, so you saw, yeah, exactly. You saw. So, just from a tactical perspective, I would have had you move, and that's absolutely perfect, Jim. I'm just like talking because we're all like trying to figure shit out. I would have actually said, move up against this other wall because I started coming back, so I would have told you to go there because I'm coming back and getting
so
out
can't
of their
see me at all.
range.
Okay.
Exactly. Why tell them? I mean, that's just. I mean, we can go back to what you did from a gym perspective. But
That's
from
fine. I still have movement left over, so I can move back.
yeah, from a combat perspective, I would have like stay out of sight.
Okay, yeah, I'll move against that wall so that I'm out of sight.
Okay, so I mean, you're
Okay.
brief as you come up around that corner. Just briefly, you can see 2 of the 3 goblins. You can see Goblin 1 and Goblin 3, and then you step back.
By readying Cure Wounds, does it extinguish the flame?
No, you're just preparing, saying, okay, if Nadia gets shot, I'm ready to cast Cure Wounds on her. So I'm holding my
gotcha,
action
okay.
for that. And if she doesn't get shot, well then, okay, I don't do anything. Right? So holding an action
Cool.
is fairly specific.
And right now, only one person can see me, right, Jimmy? It's only Goblin 1.
As far as you know, only one took a shot at you. You did hear them talking back and
Right.
forth amongst each other, though.
Well, they may know I'm there now, but at the point, only one took a shot.
Right. Bogner, you're up.
I'll move up.
Okay. Clank, 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 clank.
And I'll look at Nadia and kind of shrug my shoulders. Like, what's going on?
Okay. So I'm gonna kind of. I'm still on the ceiling, So I'm going to go ahead and get in between Bogner and Tertius. I'm still standing on the ceiling because, you know, now I'm just being goofy. And I wave to Evander to bring him up. But at the same time, you know, again, that's a very short movement for me. You know, whoops. Let's see here. 5 feet at max. So I'm standing between the two of them, indicating Evander to walk up. And
Okay, give me an You're still upside down?
yeah, I'm still upside down. I'm giving them we've got 3 minimum opponents in the next room is kind of what I'm indicating. All right, I got to find acrobatics again.
Top of your list.
I know, I had to get to the right place. Oh, I'm acrobatic as...
Yeah,
I'm the
fine.
shizit.
I mean, your feet every now and then find a loose chunk of the ceiling, but you're able to maintain purchase with your other foot and step around the loose bits. All right. Is that kind of your...
I'm still confused. I'm still confused as to why Tertius hasn't freaked out yet as to why I'm running on the ceiling, but you know, that's all good. All right, so I indicate to the two of them, and hopefully Evander's coming up saying that we've got at least 3. So I just indicate 3. I don't tell them it's goblins because, you know, they can't see them, but I'm assuming they already kind of know that. But we 3 and give them a plus sign. It might be more.
Okay, that's is that your action?
That'll end my turn.
Okay, you hear creaking and some jibber jabber. Evander, he walks up.
Do you know the etymology of jibber jabber?
Not particularly.
Do you wanna? I'm just kidding.
Evander comes up. He hears what you're talking about. At least 3, and he says, "Okay." And let's see. He's going to sing a little song, and he's going to give Bogner some bardic inspiration.
Dude, you were so inspired.
How do I tell how far my range is on my ranged attack?
You need to go to your ability, or no, wait, your range attack. Go to your inventory.
Produce flame says range +5, but
produce flame.
Okay. So that's your attack roll. So it would be a d20 plus the result of a d20 roll +5. And that would be against the AC of whatever you're trying to roll. The range of that, if you click on the description, click on the shield, it will say that when you cast it, it's 30 feet in front of you. So you can hurl a flame at a creature within 30 feet of you.
Okay.
Will that do any damage to him?
Yeah. It would hit somebody if he's attacking somebody.
I was just curious because, like, I mean, again, for like, I would have looked. I had to go to like my actions and my dart and find out what my dart's range was, which is a range. What's 20/60 mean?
So anything up to 20 feet means no disadvantage to the attack, and from 21 to 60, it's disadvantage to the attack. Anything beyond 60, the weapon is, you might be able to throw it further, but it would be ineffectual.
It bonks them on the chest, and they look at it and like, Whatever.
Thanks for a dart.
So Nadia, could you see the whole room?
Well, I came back and I said that I saw 3 goblins, you know, and obviously one of them saw me because I shot an arrow into the wall.
Yep. Courteous.
I mean, I didn't show that. I didn't
Yeah, but
say
did
they
you see the
shot
whole
an
room
arrow.
or not?
I saw the whole room. From what I mean, the quick look that I had, I saw 3 goblins, I saw several bedrolls, and I saw a throne, as well as the 3 goblins. That's all I saw. But I can't convey that in sign language. So the only thing I've really conveyed to you is that I've seen 3 goblins.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna signal that I'm gonna move up, and then I'm gonna just move up within range where I could see and throw produce flame at the nearest goblin to try to lure him out.
Okay.
So how far away can I be without just to see the closest one and be in range of produce flame?
I'd say if you get to right at this edge, you know, at this corner, you will see Goblin 1 and only Goblin 1. And
So what's your range on produce flame, though? I mean, that's really the question.
30
What's
feet.
the range? So
yeah, so that's 45.
you're not going to be able to hit.
Ooh.
You're not going to be able to hit him. So the next question is, do you have a weapon you can throw at that little bastard? You got a crossbow, you got a dart, you got an arrow.
I have none of that. I have a hammer.
So you may want to throw a distraction. Throw a distraction somewhere up in the, go almost directly northeast up into that corner, and throw your flame up there and see if they like turn.
Hold on.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Was it?
I'm not sure why your light hammer isn't. There it is. Okay. So your light hammer you can throw.
Oh, how far can you throw that one? Oh, 20 and 60, same thing. Okay.
Yeah, so it'd be a throw at disadvantage. That means you'd roll 2 20s and then take the lesser result of the 2.
So it could do some damage, but more it at least will get their attention.
Yeah, it'll get their attention.
Okay, I'm gonna throw it at that goblin's face.
Okay, so first as
From
you
45
come
feet
around
away.
and your eyes sight up on that goblin, you bring your arm back to whip it out, whip that little hammer out at him. The goblin actually shoots at you. He had a readied action.
Alrighty.
So he shoots a bow at you. Oh, and he hits you. Fa-twing! Oh, ouch. Thoop! And he hits you right in the chest. So
Oh, dang.
so go ahead if you want to whip that hammer, or if that changes your thought process.
So
So,
I still have
Jimmy,
enough
quick
room to move
question.
back at this point, right?
You can move back. You can throw and move back. So you can move back and heal
Can I-
yourself.
Yeah,
Lots
I'm
of
gonna
options.
move back and
So-
cast whatever my heal wound thing is.
Cure wounds.
So Jim, would that be something that would like so that's not something that would interrupt his action, right?
No.
Or does he have to have roll as an interrupt?
Nope. No, he's fine. He can,
Okay.
if he still
Well,
wants
no,
to do
I
something,
just-
he
I'm-
can do it. He just got shot in the process.
I'm trying to figure out these new rules. They don't mesh with what I know.
Okay, yeah, I want to cast Cure Wounds then.
Okay, so you'll bring up your cure wounds. You'll
Oh,
expand.
you guys took a boatload of damage too. That sucks.
He took
Yeah, I know.
max damage. That guy was well sighted. So on your actions tab, under your spells, you'll see Cure Wounds. I expanded it. I don't know if you can see the expanded magnifying glass. So there's a little red plus for the heal. You're going to, there's two things you can do. You can either target yourself, or you can just drag that little red plus over on top of your token on the map. Or you can drag that little red plus over onto your person on the combat tracker. There you go. So you healed yourself the damage.
Sweet.
So basically you came around, got shot, and you were like, oh, step back, pull the arrow out, and slam your hand down on your chest. Oh, little warm glow.
Before ending my turn, I whispered to Nadia and asked how he's still on the ceiling.
That's awesome.
Okay, so you have used one.
It's not my turn, so I can't respond yet.
All right, Bogner.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and move up a little bit until I see something, and then I'm gonna use one of my drawing actions for my hand axe.
Okay, show me where you're moving to. Okay, you can see Goblin 1, but you can't see anybody else, and no arrows seem to be coming your way. And since Goblin 1 already shot his arrow, okay, so you whip a hand axe at him, clanks off to the side. He's like, rah, 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 yelling at you.
And then I'll step back.
If you wanted, you could use your Bardic Inspiration, roll a d6, and add that to the attack. But you rolled kind of low, so I don't. You know, it's your choice.
No, I'll just go ahead and step back.
Okay. All right, so you step back. I assume you're done. Nadia?
All right, Kevin, that turn didn't take long enough.
He was pulling a page.
Well, I was in the middle of peeing. No, I was in the middle of peeing. I figured Bogner's going. I got time to pee.
So the real question
Didn't have time to pee.
Did you finish, or are you still squeezing it off right now?
No, I finished. But it could have been. It was a close encounter. All right. So, you know, I've already seen that somebody's going to shoot at my ass. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to jump out 10 feet and I'm going to throw a dart at Goblin 1. So I need to, what, is that right click on them?
Yeah.
Control click. Yeah.
Actually, instead of dart, I'm going to actually use my short bow, if that's okay. Is that all right, Jimmy?
Yeah, that's fine. So as you come out, two
I'm on the ceiling still.
Yep, but two goblins head ready at actions, and they're going to take shots at you.
Okay.
Ooh, one actually hits. Wow, that's a really good roll for them. Not nearly as much damage, though. Wow, these guys are rolling well.
That sucks anus.
Wow. Boom, boom. All right, so you take 2 arrows. And you're going to do a short bow against 2. Goblin 1, okay?
Goblin 1, yeah.
You hit.
All right, so then. Shit. Damn it.
Fa-doing. As he kind of wheels back, you know, after clutching an arrow sticking out of his shoulder. All right, you got some movement left. If you
And I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move right back beyond view.
Okay.
I'm actually curious as to how two of them actually could see me when I moved just into one view, but that's okay.
Well, you've got torchlight now backlighting you.
Yeah, but there's a wall here saying I can only so much of them can see me.
Yep, those two had clear view. Based on.
I disagree.
Fair enough. Noted.
I'm an asshole.
All right. So you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. You hear some more. All right, Evander.
So, but now we know that there's at least 4.
Yep, now you know there's 4.
Right?
Evander sees that you got shot, and he's going to give you a cure wounds. He's not nearly as effective as Tertius was, but, you know, it's something.
I'm all good. I know I can outrun any of these other motherfuckers.
Right. And then as a bonus action, he's gonna inspire Tertius. And he's done. All right, Tertius, you're up.
All right, we're gonna round 2. I'm gonna move up and try to throw my hammer at the wounded goblin. He got wounded for 5, so he has 1 HP.
You don't know. He got
Or
wounded.
you don't know how much. Oh,
I know.
Okay.
You don't. So yeah, you just know that he took an arrow. So you're gonna just move up just so you can just see that one goblin again?
Yeah, and then I'm gonna throw my hammer at him.
Okay, so that's really gonna be there. And he sees you, so he's gonna take a shot at you again. He hits. Wow, max damage again.
Damn.
All right, gonna throw your hammer?
Yeah, I'm still gonna throw the hammer because I have enough to move back to, right?
Yep. You might as well get something out of this one, right?
Yeah. Really.
Okay, so what you want to do is you're gonna left click on yourself on your combat item in the map, and then you're gonna control left click on the goblin 1. Yep. So you're okay.
Wait, did I do that right?
No, so I already had him targeted, so that untargeted him. So you retargeted now. So that's how you would target or untarget on the map. And so now in the combat tracker it says targets goblin 1. So go ahead and do your attack, which is going to be your thrown.
How do I attack?
So under your actions tab, you can see you got your light hammer, and there's a little bomb that's thrown. So you're going to grab that die +4, and you're going to drag that into the chat window. Okay, so you miss, but you're inspired, so if you want to roll a d6, we can add a d6 to that result.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so just roll a d6 in the chat window. And if you roll anything other than a 1, okay, so you hit. So now you hit, and you're no longer inspired. So now you're going to take the damage, the 1d4 +2 bludgeoning, and you're going to drag that into the chat window. Okay. So your your light hammer flies through the air and boom, takes him in the face, and he's like, ah, and falls over.
Bonked him.
Okay, you want to move back?
Yeah, I'm gonna move back and then I'm gonna look over at Nadia and wink.
Cool, a Draco link, a Draco wink.
Okay. Bogner.
So with all the jabbering that they've been doing, they're kind of noisy, right?
Yeah, they're pretty noisy. If you want to like try to discern how many there are, or
No, at this point, I'm going to turn around to the group and say, you guys want to go grab that barrel and light it on fire and smoke him out of here?
a barrel of what? There's really not enough oil or anything for you to burn. I mean, it would just be wood.
Yeah, there was a barrel setting up next to the wagon when we came up on it. Let's go grab that and set it on fire and roll it in the room and let them come to us.
Can we not talk because it's not our turn? Back to Bogner.
You could talk a little bit, but like one word responses. Anything of length, like a full sentence or two, then wait for your turn.
Okay.
But if you're taking a little pause to talk, that's fine. Then we can just pick back up.
So, are you asking about a full barrel of oil, Bogner?
Well, there's a barrel that he saw up top.
No, I'm just saying something we can light on fire and basically just toss it into the room and
What about
hopefully
the
smoke them
sack,
out.
the oily sack that we left under the rock?
There is just rocks and some silver in it.
Oh, damn.
It's more of like a waterproof sack than something you could light on fire.
Were there more spears up there, or were all the spears
Like
gone?
two. One on the ground up top, and then the other is sticking in the dirt here, kind of at the base of the ladder that's been, kind of pushed off to the side. It's still kind of stuck at point down in the dirt, but it's now leaning up against one of the walls next to the ladder.
So I have no problem like stepping back and looking at Wagner and going, "What are you talking about? We don't have a barrel of oil." You know, I didn't grab a barrel, so I don't know if anybody else did.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of wood up top that we can probably light on fire and
I don't disagree with you, buddy. I'm just Nadia didn't look at that stuff. She didn't see that. We didn't talk about that, so.
So you guys are still hearing jibber jabbering while you guys are having this discussion.
I don't have a problem starting hit the ceiling and seeing if we can cave the damn thing in and let them just die. We don't get any treasure from that, but you know.
Bogner, give me a let me see with that description there. It's the same either way. You can give me an investigation roll with advantage, since he's talking about causing a cave in and you've got some dwarfish blood in you. Roll it again. So when I ask for advantage, you can click the ADV in the bottom left of your table next to your dice, and that'll automatically roll twice. But just go ahead and perfect. Yeah, that's enough. You know that surprisingly, other than just the little bits of clod that Nadia seems to find here and there, The tunnels are reasonably well supported, and this is actually pretty decent ground for them to be digging a little burrow warren, whatever you want to call it. It would take quite a bit of effort to collapse the tunnels in here. In fact, if they weren't goblins, you might almost be impressed. Almost.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out something else than us being pincushions. So, no other suggestions then?
Well, Evander says, well, I can, they're just what, shooting arrows, right? I can cast Blade Ward on you and give you resistance to piercing. Let me see. Oh, no, that's self. He says I could try to sleep him.
I look at you and shrug.
He's like, I just have to get around. You guys said you took a goblin out, right? So I could probably just try to get around the corner to where you guys were before and try to throw a sleep spell in there, see if we get him.
Well, I'll hold my action then. Then he comes
Do I
around the
know
corner
what
while
my
I talk
totem
up.
does?
Say that again?
Oh, do I know what my totem does?
It just helps you focus your druidic spells.
Okay.
So Bog, you're hanging there.
Yeah, I guess I nod to Evander and like, yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. Okay, you hear more rustling and some movement. Evander says, all right. He was hoping that maybe he could cast Blade Ward on himself, but it's an action, so he'll risk it. So he moves up to the same spot, and another goblin has taken the place of the first one that went down. And sure enough, he sees him. He's going to take a shot. Oh, jeez. Man, these guys have a beat on that corner. All right, Evander takes it, but then he mans up and he casts sleep. D8. All right, didn't roll all that well, but let's see, 20 feet. All right, so he rolled for 13 hit die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's more than enough. you hear a bunch of goblins talking, and then clump, plump, 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 plump. They kind of off. You hear falling down.
So is he able to see them falling asleep, or does he just
He can see the one. He says, I know I got one and some others. I'm not sure if they're all asleep, but I definitely got more than one. So they're out. And he's going to cast as a bonus action. No, he can't cast anything as a bonus action. He is going to get out of the way for somebody else. So he steps back. All right, Tertius. So since we initiated this, we're back in the combat tracker. You're up. You can heal yourself again.
How do I pull the combat tracker back up? Oh, the swords, right?
Correct.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay.
Do I just need to target myself and then, or drop the dice on myself?
Either way, you've targeted yourself, so now you can just drop the heal in the chat window. All right, you've healed yourself 6. All right, Bogner. So okay, so you move up to there. You see 4 goblins unconscious. One's like sitting in a chair, slumped over, almost ready to fall out. Give me a perception check. Okay. So you don't see any other goblins in this room, but you do see these 4 that are snoring and unconscious.
I'll move on a little further on up.
Okay, as you get to right here, I need you to roll me a dexterity saving throw. Oh, just made it. So you hear a click, and then and you step back just for a moment and hear a and a bunch of spikes like shoot up from springs that were underneath some refuge. But you still take a little bit of damage. You take 3 points, but you missed most of it. And then you can move the rest of the way where you were.
And so now I see the entirety of the room.
Yep. You're reasonably certain now that there's only 3, because there's a torch in here that kind of has some dim light all the way to the back. You can see there are 5 bedrolls in the area. You can see 4 sleeping and 1 dead. So kind of doing a quick count, you're like, I think they're all here.
I take a quick look back. Is there anyone within my line of sight or not?
Any of the no, none of your party is in line of sight to you, but they can hear you.
Would I know whether or not saying anything would wake these goblins up from their sleep or not?
Give me an Arcana check. Nope.
Well, since I don't know, then I'm just gonna stay here until I can move again.
Okay. Nadia, you're up. Bogner stepped around the corner. You heard some spring thunking and him kind of go, "Ugh," as he walked in. But that's it. No bowstrings. No goblin talking.
Well, between the Evander, like hearing some bodies hit the floor, and Wagner going in and not hearing a bunch of bows hitting up, I rush in, and I'm gonna go hard left, and I'm gonna go for Goblin 4.
So
and as
so
I
for
go in,
movement, move in waypoints. So you can't walk through a ceiling, right? Perfect. And then you can move it down.
it's not letting me hit another. Oh, there it goes.
So I helped you out there. So you just grab the end and drag it. So that's about where you want to be? Okay.
Right there.
Okay. You can definitely move all the way over there. Are you still on the ceiling, I assume?
I am, and I'm gonna drop and hit Goblin 4 at the same time.
Okay, give me an acrobatics check as you drop to the floor. Make sure you land on your feet while you try to do this. Yep, no problem. You drop down lightly next to him. Okay, so Goblin 4, you get advantage to your attack because they are prone. So you left click on the ADV.
And
Well, actually, they're prone, so I think it'll auto do it for you. So don't click ADV. I want to test this out. It should automatically give you advantage to your attack. So go ahead.
Well, I'm using my quarter.
Yep.
I'm using my quarterstaff at this time.
Yep.
Plus, I should get an unarmed strike as well.
Yes. So start with your quarterstaff. Yep, it automatically rolled advantage for you. Perfect. So roll your damage.
On the quarterstaff?
Mm-hmm. Okay, you drop 1. It expires. So you got your unarmed strike you can do now.
So my unarmed strike I can hit against the other guy, right?
Yep.
Didn't hit him.
Nope. Missed him.
That's fine. Pretty much just set up and I'm ready to defend.
Okay. Snoring. 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 Evander.
So they don't get saving throws to come out of that?
Nope. They are asleep. Until they are damaged,
I didn't know.
physically shaken, or something tries to wake them up.
All right, though. So that's different from the old rules because they would get a saving throw each round.
Yep.
Against magical sleep.
Yep. The way it says is the affected creature falls unconscious until the spell ends, the sleeper takes damage, or someone else uses an action to shake or slap the sleeper awake.
What's Evander do?
He's going to cast Cure Wounds on himself.
Puss.
Hey, he took out 4 goblins, so he's happy to stay back again. Tertius, you're up.
But the goblins are down. He doesn't need to heal himself at this point.
Says you.
Hey, I am the ceiling runner.
Yep. All right, you got
I'm gonna
5 more feet of
move.
movement if you want. But you come in and
Okay,
you can see
I'll,
that they're also down.
I'm gonna move a little bit farther up and then cast Cure Wounds on myself.
So
How much damage do you take?
So you can wait because you can use hit dice to heal yourself with a short rest. So I would suggest that you probably do that.
I can do what?
So as part of everybody can use their hit die. So since you're level 1, you have 1 hit die you can use to heal yourself with a short rest. Since everything's sleeping, it's probably more advantageous for you to save that spell for something else if you get damaged, rather than use it to heal 2 hit points right now.
Okay, yeah. How do I use the hit dice to heal me?
When we take a short rest, we'll deal with that. So for right now, you're just gonna have to live with 2 wounds.
Okay.
Not to mention, two hit points in your overall hit points. You got to look at the percentages there. So
Yeah, because I only have 10
Okay,
hit
so-
points, right?
all right, you're first level, so that is a big deal. So you're at 8 versus 10. So, but I mean, your heal wounds is going to heal you for up to between 8 and 10 if you get a max roll, right?
Right.
So you don't want to waste that on a 2-point heal. When we have another healer, Evander. You want to hold that for when you need it, and all these guys are asleep.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Okay. I'll just end.
Now, do you have any ranged weapons?
Yeah, but I don't think they're within 20 feet or whatever it is to be like to make sure it's a thing.
Well, Goblin 3 is in 20 feet.
Well, Goblin 3 is 25 feet from you. They're both
Oh,
25
sorry,
feet.
I was looking at. So they're both 25 feet, but I mean that's just a attack of disadvantage. I mean, you throw a dart at them and you do a damage, great. If you don't, no big deal.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try that then. Can I still try that?
Yeah, sure. So, well, you threw your light hammer before, right?
Yeah. Does that mean I don't have it anymore?
Well,
You don't have the light hammer, but
usually-
you might have more ranged items. So, like, I mean,
you can cast.
my character carries darts and arrows,
So you
bow.
are
I can
now
cast
within
my
30 feet of your
flame though.
Right, you can cast your flame.
Okay, yeah, let's use that one.
So target
Okay,
one of
we'll use that one.
the goblins.
What is breath weapon, by the way?
So breath weapon is your fire-based cone attack. So I added it since that's your ability, and so it would do a 15-foot cone centered from you outward, and everything within that range would have to do a dex save and take either full damage or half damage of 2d6 fire.
Okay, so
So right now you can't reach anything, so your cone attack isn't going to do any good for that perspective.
They're too far from that, but they are definitely within your produce flame attack, so you can do that.
Okay, so yeah, I'll do produce flame.
Okay. You're targeting Goblin 3, so you can go ahead and expand it, and now, yeah, roll your attack. You hit, so now you just click on the damage, bring that over. All right, so you burn
Nice.
Goblin 3, and he wakes up.
So Jimmy, this is another question for me. So he wakes up. Does he wake up screaming and can wake up Goblin 2 and Goblin Dib?
Maybe, but he'd have to scream really loudly, like the scream would have to be right next to him. So he
Dude, I'm on fire. I'm screaming loud.
Yeah, he's loud, but this
I'm
is
not. I'm not
magic
trying to give it.
induced
I'm
sleep.
not trying to give it. All right. I'm not trying to give our enemies any advantage. I'm just curious.
Sure. No, this is a magically induced sleep.
Gotcha.
All right, Bogner, you're up. You gonna move? Okay. So we move you
Yeah,
up.
no.
Look at Bogner go! Little stumpy legs carried him all the way up there.
Wham! Brings down a crit on that Warhammer. Poor little goblin.
That wasn't just a crit. That was like destruction.
He goes, ah! And which you think he might be saying, I'm on fire, but that's, hard to say because then you bring the hammer out in the middle of his chest where the fire was.
Well, it was instant death.
Do I have another attack that I can go ahead and take? Or am I close enough to Goblin 2 to do it?
You can burn an action surge to get another action, another move in action. But you don't have any extra attacks at this time.
Alright.
All right, Nadia.
All right. I'm on the ground now. I'm not on the ceiling anymore.
Right. In my head, Bogner, I envisioned you come up saying, I'll put the fire out. Wham!
So I'm standing
Okay.
over Goblin 2, right? And
Yep.
he's asleep totally.
Totally sleeping. You can bring your staff down on him.
I will bonk him on the head. Maybe.
Go, Dead Bob, go.
And you miss. Trying to crack him on the head, you
Woohoo!
mistake his head.
Woohoo! I
Mistake a
missed.
stone for a head that was next to him. You smack a stone.
Woohoo! I missed him. I can't hit. Somebody's not moving.
Rolled a 1 and a 4.
My name is Jeff. I'm wearing clanky armor. I'm taking our paladin's position here.
Yes, of
So I
finding
missed
ways to
him.
not hit. Okay, you got your bonus action for unarmed attack.
Oh, do I get to attack him again?
Yeah,
Unarmed?
you get your bonus action
Alright.
as part of martial arts every time.
Alright, I didn't realize that. Here I go.
Oh, and you get a crit. All right.
Boom!
Roll your unarmed damage,
Boom, baby!
and it drops.
Oh, did. Dang it. So I totally missed with this big giant stick that I'm carrying, but I'm able to step on its head, which made sense because he's sitting on the ground.
Well, there were two bulbous, greenish, brownish, blackish blobs, and your staff hit one. That was a rock. Your foot hit the other. That was a skull.
Which basically you're trying to make me feel better by saying that my eyesight is bad.
Sure.
Alright, well, I'm done. I've killed my goblin.
Okay.
And we've
Goblin
got
on
this
the
guy
throne.
sitting on the throne.
Still sleeping.
He's slunched over. My turn's done, right? I
Yep.
can't do anything.
Yep, you're done. Evander comes around. He's taking a look at what's going on here. And he's like, oh, good. That worked. So he's pretty happy with that. And he's not even going to bother shooting him because you guys are right up next to him, so you'll be more than capable of mopping him off. All right, Tertius, you're up. You can head over to where Bogner is and pick up your light hammer, or you can try to get up next to that goblin.
What happens if I don't pick up my hammer before we kill him?
You just don't have your hammer to use against him.
Nothing.
Okay, so I get it back like when it's all done, though.
Yeah, well, I would assume that you go over and pick it up. Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna go over and use my dragon breath shenanigans. Well, what is that called again? 1 second. Breath weapon. There we go. And I only need to be within 15 feet, right?
Jim, do you see what I did, my motion was?
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm gonna kick Evander in the nuts.
So this is your breath
So
weapon.
how do I?
And
I
so-
just drag the attack thing over.
So yeah, you target. So first you got to target the goblin, which you have,
Yeah, he's targeted.
and then what you need to do is you need to roll the save because it's not an attack. This is a save ability. So you roll that save into the chat window now, and he should get disadvantage. Auto.
You're
fail.
basically spewing on him.
Yeah, and he's sleeping, so he auto
Yeah.
fails the dexterity check. Even though he rolled a 19, it's still an auto fail. So now go ahead and roll your damage. Drop your damage in there. Just kind of breathes. Lights the poor goblin on fire. He's dead. The throne's on fire. And now what you want to do is click that little circle next to breath weapon to show that you've used it. And it should disappear. You click on it and it probably will disappear. So that's fine. It's not gone. It's not deleted. It's just not available to you, showing you that it's not there.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Nadia raises an eyebrow and says, "Overkill much?"
All right.
I just chuckle.
I assume you guys are gonna check the room.
I'll check the room. Yeah, I'm gonna retrieve my hand axe, search the room, and call it a night.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. You find 15 pieces of gold and some 60 silver, and you find a scrap of cloth that has some design notes on this fortress.
And I have a 14 perception check. I'm just guessing you wanted that. You may not have needed it.
No, I assume that when everything's all said and done, you guys can do stuff. So let's do a short rest. So you guys have that. You know what? Let's not even worry about the mechanics, because between you guys rolling that and Song of Rest for a D6, you guys would all be healed. So.
Oh, I am so healed.
All right. So at this point, you would just go back, let the City Watch know, and I'll just put in the inventory 200 gold. Or if you guys want, you can just add 50 gold to your character sheets, if you'd rather do that.
So we didn't find anything more worthwhile in that area.
No. These are just little goblins.
Because we got a scrap of cloth and we got some shiny rocks.
Yep, and a couple coins for your trouble. So I'd say add 50
So, like-
gold
I
to your
added it to my
inventories.
character sheet.
Okay, so how do I do that?
Go to your inventory.
Inventory.
And then under
Oh, there
treasure,
it is.
gold, just change that number next to GP, add 50 to it, and it'll be 50 more.
Alright, so the scrap of cloth and the shiny rock we don't need to deal with right now.
Nah, it's just a rock. Kev, did you get your gold?
Yeah, I had it in there.
Okay. All right, and let me do XP.
So, do we, I'm assuming we converse on the way in and out. We kind of start to know who Tertius is. He kind of starts talking to us. Or am I incorrect in my assumption?
Sure.
Sure I'm incorrect, or sure I'm correct?
No, that you're correct. You guys are able to talk to each other and kind of get a little more acquainted.
No, sure, you're incorrect. You don't talk to each other. You go back to the thing. None of you like each other. You're done. All right, so is there anything we, on the way back, do we understand about our partners here, the people that we haven't been interacting with? I mean, I know that Bogner likes beer or ale or alcohol. Don't know anything about Tertius.
I'm out of here.
Good night, Kev. Thanks, man.
Yeah, I gotta go to bed too. I am dead.
Okay.
I'm dead.
I'll see y'all.
We'll pick it all up later.
It's all later.
Later, Tertius. Later, Bogner. Later, agnostic.